Let me ask you a hypothetical question. You have a dog, right? It's not perfect. It's a little smelly, sometimes it's barking late at night. Sometimes it eats your food, whatever. Maybe you didn't train it properly when it was a puppy and now it's a little harder to train because it got used to how it lives. But you love your dog. If someone were to come up to you at a park or something and they had a beautiful dog, perfect temper, well behaved, great health, and said, "I'll trade you this dog for yours," would you take that deal? I saw this question being posed on an Instagram reel or something. I don't remember the exact one. If I can find it, I'll credit it. But I want you to relate this same hypothetical to human relationships. If you had a girlfriend and you've been dating a year or two, you've been through a lot with this girl, you've loved, you've argued, but overall you've grown together. And one day you're presented with the option to date someone better. They look better, have a seemingly better personality, etc., etc. Would you take that deal? I'd bet a lot of money that you would have considered it. Whether you take the deal or not is usually pretty telling about your relationship. If you take the deal, you probably didn't really love your girlfriend in the first place. Now, some of you might have considered the girlfriend one despite not considering the dog one. And that's because generally it's easier for people to have empathy and love towards animals because animals are considered like innocent compared to humans who can be bad people and whatnot, But overall, the message is the same. The result is the same. If you took that deal, you probably didn't love whatever it was you were trading. The dog was meant to be like a proxy to give perspective. Anyways, before I get into it, I just want to lay some things down. I'm not trying to defend or disprove hypergamy in this video. It's definitely a real thing, and believing it's not is honestly quite idiotic. Right, do we have that clear? I'm not going to have a bunch of blackpillers attacking me in the comments for being like, "This guy's so blue-pilled. He's shut up, I don't care." The hypothetical you were giving is a choice typically given to many women in their lives. The choice to ditch their dude for a better one. Now, as we stated, if she does do this, then she probably never really loved her boyfriend in the first place. So to the boyfriend, this is a massive W. But wait, what about the 2 years you spent together? What about all the memories, all the growth? Yeah, true, that sucks. You wasted a bunch of time. But if she never loved you in the first place, then wasn't something like this going to happen regardless? Isn't it better for it to happen now so you don't get more attached and waste more time invested into someone who doesn't care? I'm sure many of us would likely agree. Well, if I was just a better boyfriend and more attractive and more rich and blah blah blah, then she'd never have left me in the first place. Not true, because there's always going to be a better man out there. And clearly this girl isn't the type to stick around with an inferior man. So what? Is it over? Am I never gonna find love? Is every girl I ever date gonna ditch me for some other dude? Well, if you think so, then yeah, man. If you're gonna sit on your room all day, watching blackpill content and complaining about how the world isn't fair, all hypergamous foidlets. How am I ever gonna get laid if only I was taller, have better gonial angle or wider clavicles or blah blah blah, then yeah, dude, it's over for you. Go jerk off or something. But assuming you're not a completely lost cause and you have a little bit of soul and intellect left, no, it's not over. Why? Because guess what? You're not a dog. See, the reason this happens is often, not all the time, but often, because the guys in these relationships lack self-respect. They get this girl and they put her on a pedestal. They put that pussy on a pedestal, not as an equal, someone that he's supposed to grow with, but as a higher being, just like a dog would treat their owner. And this goes both ways. I'm just relaying it in a male perspective because I'm a dude. But unlike a dog who's trained to follow their owner around, you have a conscience and you can choose to put up with bullshit, because oftentimes in these kinds of relationships, it's pretty obvious when your partner is losing respect for you. And if you catch these signs, communicate with your partner and nothing changes, guess what? You can leave. No one is making you stay. The door is right there, man. Of course it's gonna suck, but it's better to leave a harmful relationship and find something better than to stick to something that's going to put you on the Norwood scale. But like I said, a reason a lot of people act this way, putting their partner on this pedestal, is because they lack self-esteem and believe they have no chance to find someone else if their partner leaves. And if they think that way, well, of course they won't find someone else. If you think it's impossible to open an unlocked door, you're never going to try. So even though a lot of people hate this word, It's all a matter of confidence. Now, I'm not just saying, oh, just be confident, bro. You know, maybe that worked before the internet was around, but it's generally less useful advice. Rather, I have another hypothetical for you, right? If you were the woman of your dreams, let's downgrade. If you were just a woman, like an average woman, would you want to date you? Would you really want to date you, even ignoring looks? Just based purely off of personality and what you have going on in your life, would you want to date you? What do you have that is desirable for the average woman that every other guy doesn't have? What makes you special? See, looks are important, right? For sure. Material possessions are necessary for a lot of things in life. I'm sorry if you hear my dog. He probably saw a cat outside. But if you want more than to just get laid, you're going to need more than material possessions. If you want people to be interested in you, you need to be interesting. If you build skills, actual useful skills. Hold on, my dog is going crazy. You know, whether it be athletics or reading or writing, intellectual activities, you need to start doing something that will set you apart. And the more you learn these things, the better you get at them. The confidence just naturally comes along. You know what I mean? The most natural thing to do is the gym, right? Everyone knows you should go to the gym. If you're not going to the gym, what are you doing? What are you doing? You've probably heard it a million times to go to the gym. Why aren't you going to the gym? It's all a matter of being willing to do it. If you want to achieve your goal, you can't do it. You can't just expect some genie to come around and grant you your wish. No one's coming to save you. You need to go do it yourself. Anyways, the gym. Yeah, you should probably go to the gym. But the gym has become so widespread and like it's such common advice. Everyone goes to the gym. It's kind of a standard at this point. If you want to stand out, you're going to need more. You know, work on your personality, practice self-awareness, meditation. There's so many things you can do to set yourself apart, to give yourself an advantage. Although sometimes, no matter how hard you try, there will always be people who will reject you regardless of your personality or skills if you aren't their type. And honestly, that's fine, because would you even want to be dating someone who only likes you for your looks? Like if they're dating you because you're tall, then someone taller comes around, now what? This is a bit of a gripe I have with all this hypergamy talk, because if you do achieve everything right, all the money, you look great, you have the respect, status, blah, 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 do you really want to be dating someone who only likes you for your material possessions? Who, in the scenario that someone better comes along, will ditch you unless all you care about is sex? And if so, go ahead, man. If that's really what you want, then go for it. See where that takes you. One thing that comes to mind recently is the Lukey MC situation. No, I love Lukey, right? I'm not trying to attack his ex-girlfriend in any way. I'm sure they had their reasons. It's not my place to talk, but a lot of people seem to take this as proof that hypergamy is absolute, and they're celebrating it. Even the short guys that Lukey MC was like a kind of a hope for, was like, they're all like, oh my goodness, let's fucking go, I'm gonna be bitchless forever. Like, what are you celebrating? Sure, it's very real, right? There's no denying it. Being ugly or short statistically is going to make your life harder. But if you start putting the energy you spend worrying about your height and cantle tilts and the shit you can't change into something you can actually improve upon, then it's only gonna get easier, right? Another thing, right? Not all women are hypergamous. Matter of fact, a lot of them aren't. Because guess what? When you're not looking for girls in dating apps or clubs and bars where there's little to go off of other than attractiveness, women are more likely to give you a fair chance. And guess what? You don't need to look like a supermodel either. No, as long as you look well put together and you're not like a complete weirdo, your chances are likely fine. Again, doesn't mean there won't be women who aren't going to reject you because of your looks and whatnot. It's just less likely to happen. And what is self-improvement if not a game of increasing your percentages of success? Oh, but dating apps are the only way to meet women nowadays. Definitely not. There are so many ways to meet people. Much less than there used to be, for sure, but still a considerable amount. Group hobbies are one thing, right? Like rock climbing, chess, hikes, biking. Great ways to meet people because everyone's there doing the same activity. It's easier to start conversations when you're all doing the same thing. And if it's at a community center, It's even better because chances are you're going to be seeing the same faces pretty often. It's all a matter of whether you're willing to do it. If you want to be trapped in the hell of dating apps because you don't have the balls to go out and try something new, then feel free, man. It's your life. But if you feel like you can, then I urge you, at least try. Also, take your time with people. Don't rush into a relationship you're not ready for. Make sure, number one, you don't need a relationship. If you're betting on a relationship to fix your problems, you're just setting yourself up for failure, right? Number two, make sure you actually like the person you're talking to. You don't want to be the dog owner. You don't want to be a hypocrite, right? Number three, don't ignore the red flags. I've heard way too many stories of guys who will talk to chicks and they'll just completely ignore all the obvious red flags because, oh, but bro, she's so bad. Dude, don't let yourself be deceived by a little waist or a pretty face, right? None of that matters if you'd rather be slaving away at your job than interacting with them. If they do something and you catch yourself considering whether to forgive them or not, take a step back and imagine if you were a bystander watching the same situation, right? Like if you saw someone talking about your situation on a TikTok or something. It gives a lot of perspective. And don't be overly controlling, right? I understand you're scared of getting hurt, but trust issues are one hell of a relationship ender. And again, it's better to have your heart broken than to live your whole life stressing over someone who never loved you. Harsh truth, not everyone is going to have a happy ending, right? Most people won't. You're no exception. People are going to deny you and people will break your heart, but that's not an excuse to shut yourself off and deny yourself of one of the greatest experiences in life. Shit's serious, bro. This shit means everything, bro. If you believe you can't have a happy ending, then there's a 100% chance that you're right. But if you believe even a little, then that percentage goes down. And the more you believe, the more likely the opposite will be true. So, who cares if your jawline's a little receding? So what? If someone rejects you because your cheekbones aren't high enough, then you're probably dodging a nuke. Who cares if you're a manlet? Most men are. Shit, my best friend is 5'3", and he pulls more girls than any of my tall friends combined. So yeah, hypergamy is real, and you might be a victim of it. But don't let it stop you from trying. Because a 99% chance of failure is better than 100. And yeah, that's it. Amen.